For Brew, any reason to still believe?
If you're looking for a reason to be optimistic, the only one I can see is you can say, well, when we get Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence back.
Yep.
Here's the problem, though. Micah and D'Lo played 4 games. Micah had 1 sack and 2 tackles for losses. DeMarcus Lawrence had 1 sack and 1 tackle for a loss over his last 3 games. He played well against Cleveland. And those two were both on the field for the debacle against New Orleans and getting down 28-6 against Baltimore. So even with those 2 great defensive players, their defense still was poor. Those 2 guys obviously aren't going to run the football, so it's not going to help your run game any. And then Dak, everybody knows he's throwing it, and here's the result of it. His passer rating is the worst of his career. TD percentage, worst of his career. Interception percentage, completion percentage, yards per attempt, all second worst. He is having probably the worst season of his career.
I don't think there's any probably about it. Yeah, I
so
think
there you go. And a lot, look, Dak, I used to say when Dak first few years and he's having success, I used to say he's a game manager who can make big plays. A lot of game managers don't make the big plays. He's a game manager that can make big plays with his arm and his legs. Well, now he doesn't make those big plays, not with his legs anymore for sure, but even with his arm, I mean, he's become an interception machine. He's got 2 interceptions in each of his last 3 games. So with that combined with the schedule, next 4 games, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Houston, Washington, all of those guys are playing better than the Cowboys. No, I see they're done. They're done.
Wow.
And with Dak, he's getting paid like a guy who can carry the team, but he's never really been a guy that can carry the team. And now you add in what CD's getting paid, and CD's outstanding, but collectively they can't carry this offense and they can't carry this team. And when you look at Dak's history, he's always been at his best when he's had a consistent, solid running game, and they don't have that now. So they're going to be behind the 8 ball the rest of the season. I will give them a lot of credit yesterday. I thought the fact that they fought back the way that they did, being in the hole that they were, and they actually had a chance to win the game at the end of that game with as many things that went wrong. That's very different than the Cowboys than we've seen.
I agree, but weren't you then disheartened by Dak playing some of his worst football of the whole game on that drive? The very first play, throwing into triple coverage. I think it would have been picked off by Lenore, but Fred Warner got his hand on it first, right? And then, missing. I understand the pass down the sideline was actually a great pass on 3rd down, but you're throwing a 35-yard pass to a 5'8" guy, like that's, you know what I mean? Not you're even close to your number 1 receiver. So it was a great pass. I don't know if I love the decision, and then it's 4th down and you're going home.
Yeah, that was disheartening. But the way that they fought back.
But isn't that what they do, Coach?
I know.
I mean, Baltimore, they did it. We've seen Dak in the past.
They didn't against
when they get down big.
We've also seen them fold up in ways where
they do both.
Where it's really disappointing. So they haven't quit on themselves. They haven't quit. I didn't get any sense of quit yesterday. And with Micah and coming back, regardless of his production early on, that you're still getting a very good football player back. So that helps.
So I buy
with DeMarcus.
I buy if they get healthier, they'll be better. The running game obviously is it's historically bad at this point at 74 yards. It's one of the fewest rushing yards per game in the last 15 years, but that's not what I want to get into. You know me, king of vibes. I'm always checking the pulse of teams. Are you a championship team? Are you stressed out? Are you saying, you know what, we're going to take this loss in stride? Here's the friction post game that starts at the start of the second half. It's Brock to Kittle.
That whole play, that's what you.
And then, all right, that was the play. And then Dallas Sports Anchor.
You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing me, bro.
Just asking a question, Trayvon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
Out of that whole play, that's what you took for that? That's what you got from that? That whole play, that's what you got from that?
Okay, so the play was a play from Brock to Kittle. Trayvon didn't look like he was through Mike Leslie's eyes.
Trayvon's 7 at the top of the screen. And the guy, he asked, what's Trayvon doing on this play, is what he tweets.
Yeah, and Trayvon took exception to that right after the game. It seems like an unconventional way to deal with the media. What was your take, Nick?
Well, I think I don't really care when people yell at the media. I'm just going to say that on the front end. Like, in general, I think that the media needs to have thicker skin. I think in general. I do care that before you've even taken your jersey off, you're searching your phone.
Like you saw
you're
that
searching your mentions, or you're searching your name. To me, again, it wasn't a nasty enough or pointed enough tweet to where I assume, oh man, a bunch of my friends texted me, can you see what this guy said about you? It didn't say, you know what I mean? So I think it was, all right, we just lost, but what are people saying about me? And then it pissed you off enough that you went out there to yell at him, which just seems immature. And so, like, I think there is a time and a place for athletes to be like, hey, media, you guys are always evaluating my job performance. I'm going to evaluate yours. I'm actually totally fine with that. I agree with you, though, that to me is a sign of a team that is not necessarily focused on the right things. I agree with that entirely, that quickly, after that type of loss, you're searching Twitter to see what was said.
Yeah. I mean, what this continues to show, honestly, is that the Dallas Cowboys have such a cultural issue, right? I mean, it's just, there's such immaturity there, quite frankly. And they have been from the jump. I mean, for the last, decade or so, or at the very least since Dak has been there, right? Whether it was Zeke, whether it was Micah, whether it's Diggs, I mean, there's just such immaturity. And Zeke has grown up, and credit to him, because he kind of got off to a weird, start. He got suspended and stuff for doing something, for whatever. We won't go into those details, but there was still some immaturity issues that he had that I think he grew up, and now he's not that person. So again, credit to Zeke for sure for that one. But Dak has always been a grown up, right? Dak has always been the most grown up. But the problem is it doesn't feel that Dak actually commands that respect from the rest of the team, right? I think it was last offseason, right? So 23 or 22, 23, right? Or 23, 24, whatever it is. Just not this past off season, but the season before that, right? You had, I think it was Micah screaming in Dak's face, right? During practice or something. And it was just this is just not typically what you do to your quarterback. This is not how this is supposed to work. This isn't just good, fun, competitive spirit and drive. This is kind of an issue, quite frankly. And that is something that I find, I don't know if it's just that they don't respect Dak, or they don't believe that he's as great as the Cowboys franchise they do, because they keep paying him all this money, and the way how some of the media thinks. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's just Dak's kind of personality, where he doesn't demand that level of respect, or have the team kind of take up his personality that you see other teams do, or if it's the coaching doesn't empower Dak in a way, or Jerry Jones. I don't really know. I don't even really blame Dak for it, quite frankly. I kind of would blame everyone else but Dak at that point. But it is a problem for the Dallas Cowboys, and right now there is no reason to believe in them, because what are you believing in? That they're going to get right? That even if they got a little bit healthier and got Micah back and a couple other pieces, they're magically going to be good? Because even with those pieces, they weren't that good. That's the thing. It's one thing if they were a really good team before some of these injuries. Then you could make the argument, right? There's reason to believe in the 49ers because they're getting Christian McCaffrey back, right? They're getting true pieces back that you could say, hey, once they get, I can still believe in them, because I think isn't Greenlaw coming back, McCaffrey's coming back, right? Ayuk will be more healthy after his pneumonia or whatever, right? You can point to real reasons. You can even point to the Eagles. Sorry to use the Eagles as a reference, Dallas Cowboys fans, but AJ was gone, Devontae was gone. It's I would still believe in Dallas if they were kind of close to winning, but CD was gone. Then you would be all right, once they get CD, they should be in significant. Once they get CD and Micah, they'll be in much better shape, right? Then I could make that argument. Then there would be some belief. But what are you believing in? The way how everyone's playing right now, the Eagles are better, and the Commanders are better. That alone is not playoff viable, right? Just not. The best bet is to have Chicago and Minnesota Vikings fall off a cliff, I guess. Then maybe you get 3 teams from the NFC East. Or the fact that the Bucks now got injured and now they're dealing with their injuries. So if they can't scrap together wins, then the wild card is out for them, right? But it was looking like the Falcons and the Bucks could be fighting for the division and wild card. So it's just too close. So again, right, if they win, they're 4-4, and it's like, hey, we're 4-4. But there's still a lot of tough games coming along. That's the thing. It's not like that they have like, okay, well now they have a really easy schedule. That's not the situation that the Dallas Cowboys are in right now. So is there any reason to believe that they're not this bottom of the barrel awful team? Yeah, definitely. So I have reason to believe in that they're not this awful, terrible, trash, oh my God, guaranteed win of a team. But any reason to believe that they could compete to either win the division, win playoff games, get to the NFC Championship game, get to a Super Bowl, I'm failing to see where the belief is. If they did it last season, if they were able to get to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl or whatever, and then they were having these issues and some injuries, then the belief would be there, which is why you have the belief in the 49ers. Or you have someone like a Pearsall who obviously didn't start the season because of, injuries, but now he's back, and now it's like, hey, they're going to be able to integrate him. He's like supposed to be a great rookie wide receiver. The team should get better. They're going to get healthier, right? You can see that trajectory. I'm failing to see any type of trajectory, and I'm not seeing any type of culture that would rally behind this situation. Look at the Packers. Jordan Love goes down, okay, multiple times, and they're so well coached and they're so well connected of a team that they're able to be resilient to that. They're able to withstand that, having their quarterback go at multiple times in throughout the season, and they're able to thrive with flying colors. That's not the case that I see with the Dallas Cowboys. So to me, with the Dallas Cowboys, as there continues to be, there's just fundamental fatal flaws and issues that are the Dallas Cowboys. So it's hard to have belief in them, quite frankly. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Dallas Cowboys? Any reason to still believe in Dallas? What do you think about Diggs getting in a fight with the reporter? Any of that type of stuff? What do you think it means? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.